Back again with D game. Here we are. Uh, got a few things for you. We're going to talk about insecurities and how to overcome them, how to adjust for them, how to get rid of them, and also what is insecurity in a man and what is not insecure as a man, but women keep shaming or telling us it is. So there's a big difference between the two. So we'll get into that. Try to give you guys some ideas about what you can do, what you can't, and what works and what don't. Just trying to give you a general idea how to overcome some of these things that you guys are dealing with quite a bit. Every guy does. Well, not every guy, but the majority. So it's really going to be some things are going to be kind of difficult and some things are going to be kind of strange, maybe you think, but they are ways to overcome and deal with and get past, these things to get to the goal, that you want to be able to find women and be attractive to women. So to start with, one thing I wanted to say is I've had not a bunch, but I had a few guys that's actually came up to me and stuff then said that they watch the podcast and things I talk about they've actually worked on and taken to heart and been paying attention to and it's really helped them. It kind of in their phrase is change their life and the way they deal with women. And they've got out of some bad relationships. We're able to, deal with the relationship at the end or had a hard time at first when the relationship ended, but we're able to deal with it in a more positive way. It's difficult when relationships end either way, but it's great that people are saying that and it makes what I do worth time, worth my effort. Either way, I still enjoy doing this. I mean, even if people hate it, I enjoy it. I'm having fun. But it really does when you start making a positive influence on somebody's life, and they're going to carry that with them. They're actually fairly younger guys. But they're going to carry that with them throughout their life. So it's cool, and who you were that came up and said so. Thank you very much. I enjoy that. Other than that, for me, on a personal note, life is good. Life is really good. I've been thinking about this, for the last few weeks and, things ever since the beginning of the year, things have really, really went well. Generally they go well. Everybody has their ups and downs, you know what I mean? Generally things go well, but things have really, really been good. I've thought about it quite a bit, and I'm like, I acquired a few things that I've been reluctant, to do, which is nice. Some people came into my life that are that are great and very enjoyable, and making a positive influence on me, I guess. I don't know. If you can make a positive influence on me, you guys watch, you kind of know I'm kind of an ass, but that's just me. But yeah, everything and all, not just on parts, but on all facets of the relation, of life and relationships and, uh, the opportunities and things like that are good. I mean, I'm actually, I've really enjoyed, the last, I don't know, 6 weeks. Things are very, very, very positive. So anyway, that was just a personal thing. I want to throw it out. Make sure that letting people know a little bit about me. I did end up communicating a little bit with Beekman. You guys know. He says that things are going real well. Everything is good. And he's really happy that we gave him a shout out here for on the podcast or whatever. He thought it was kind of cool, but so everything is going really well for him. So reach out to him if you know him or whatever. And the ones that don't, the only thing I guess I was a tad bit, I'm disappointed or not disappointed, but I like to see was more people, just putting a comment, giving a thumbs up or whatever for to him on the last episode. But it's it's here and there, But like I say, at any time, comment on anything you want. I like to see it, even if it's you don't agree or whatever. Comment you want. I mean, obviously, don't be disrespectful to everything. Try to frame it into a coherent comment or whatever. Just I get a few that I got to reject. I can't put out, but so we'll get into this insecurity thing, and a lot of people are insecure, or men are insecure because they don't subscribe. That that ain't really insecurity, but God damn it. Like and subscribe, share this thing out on the social media and stuff. Let more people get at it. It's just going to build a chain. And like I say, you might be the guy that helped one of your friends. That he'd be like, hey, I really checked this out. It really makes it, then you're the guy. So, and it does make you feel good that you can be a positive influence on someone. And it helps channel out a lot. But definitely comment, and you can even send an email or a comment or whatever if you want to be on, and we can go from there. But moving on to insecurities here. A lot of guys, if not most, are really insecure. I wouldn't say insecure. They are very conscious, and it might be viewed as insecurity about attracting or approaching women. If you're out saying something to them, or you might have a good conversation with them, maybe they're at the workplace. It's kind of I'd like to stay away from that, but I'll touch on that in a minute. But interaction on a day-to-day thing, and maybe they're at the place you stop at every day, and you have good interaction, and they're funny, and all that stuff, and but you always have that hesitation to take it a little further, because you're like, wow, I enjoy seeing her every day. I like, she's cool, she's cute, all this stuff. But you have a hesitation to take it a little further. And, we need to get you past that, and it's not really the insecurity about approaching women. It's really, when you think about it, it's you don't want to be shot down. Now, everybody gets shot down. everybody gets shot down a lot more than you think. Okay. So if you got buddies and stuff that are running around saying, I do this and nobody ever, or I get like 80% of the women unless they're extremely undesirable women that are kind of desperate, he's probably not telling you the truth. He's probably trying to build himself up, which is not great if he actually believes it or if he is trying to convince you of it. It's one thing to build yourself up like that, but you don't need to verbalize it and try to build yourself up off of someone else. It doesn't help that way. Or it might help, but it's kind of low key crap to be doing stuff like that, because it's you're not tearing someone down, but you're hurting. If he sees you doing it all the time, and which is great, and then he's not, then that might just make him more reserved than what he was, and not further out. So if you're doing that crap, knock it off. It's just really, 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 really crap. Nobody wants to hear that shit. But if you do see this woman and you're going along, the hard part is to just say something, to ask, right? There's nothing wrong with asking, for a number, asking for a social media, asking her out on a date. There's nothing wrong. And if they're involved with somebody, great, wonderful, didn't hurt you at all. And you got to be okay with being rejected right like that. You know what I mean? Even if they don't have a boyfriend, they say they do. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. You take it you take it, for instance, here, or if you're in a club and you go up and you're talking to this gal, you see her, she's attractive. You muster up the courage, to go talk to her. And when you're talking to her, she just, and don't get down on yourself, but don't be that guy, I guess you could say, where you keep pressing the point. If obviously after 2-3 minutes, she's not into the conversation, she's not really responsive, then big deal. You're just not her type. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. There's plenty of women out there that aren't yours, so you can understand. You just don't want to talk to them. No problem. And women are more selective. So you have to be, it probably happens more. Well, it does happen more often. But if you do go up and you talk to them, for one, it's not a freaking job interview. All right. Where, yes, it's hard to go up, to muster up the courage and go up and not know the person and not really have anything to say. For one, you need to work on being able to have things to say. You know what I mean? Think about it. Not just at the moment, but think about it when you're, you have free time, you're working out, whatever. Have some, come up with a few things that you might have interesting stories. You might have been somewhere interesting. You might have done something interesting. And don't just think about one facet, you know what I mean? Just, different things that you could say that might be interesting to, if she's, oh, I like cars. Well, then have, if she likes race cars, or she likes racing, or, whatever along that lines, have something to talk about. Think about that. She might like traveling. Well, then, what do you have interesting to talk about traveling, right? She might like uh, movies, so have maybe a couple movies to freshen your mind to talk about, and just kind of go over these things. That way, when you do approach her, I mean, obviously the first 20, 30 seconds is awkward, and you're gonna have to give the interview a little bit, but you need to get away from that as fast as you can, because women get approached, and when they do, generally they like it. They like it. They really like it from somebody they see as a potential, but they will score you, you grade you, whatever you want. And if you're just giving them the interview, even if they do find you attractive, they don't want, they're, you're going lower and your attractiveness is getting less. So, but if you walk up and they find you somewhat attractive, you don't have to be Don Juan. You know what I mean? You just got to be taking care of yourself to a certain point. And if you go up, if you're generally her type-ish in the ballpark, but you're really interesting because you have a lot of things to say, then your attractiveness will go higher. At worst, it'll stay the same. So you're not you're not dropping any, you're not losing anything. So when you go up and talk to them, obviously it's like, hi, what's your name? Yada yada yada. But you don't sit there and say, well, how old are you? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking that. You know what I mean? Maybe right off the beginning. And then you're like, what do you do? Where you live? What do you enjoy doing? Where's, are you single? How long you been single? How many kids? If you just go on and they're like, I'm not applying. I mean, we see it as this, that we're trying to get them, trying to find out something about them, for we can find something common we can talk about. But they see it as, I'm not here to get interrogated, right? I mean, you just put yourself in her shoes. It's damn awkward to have a stranger come up and interrogate you for 5 minutes, and then you're not going to show any interest, so he's going to walk away. Generally, depends on the person. I'm sure that there's a 50% or so, maybe a little less. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but I'm guessing that they're going to walk away mad, or upset, or say something stupid, which never do that. Even if they openly reject you, if you walk up and they're like, just leave, don't come talk to me. You're not my type. And they're just rude, right? Don't be rude back. Who cares? Just move on, go back, hang with your guys. And when you walk back there, they're going to be giving you some crap. And you're like, dude, no, she was a complete B, but I'm done. That didn't work, and then you laugh and joke a little bit and you'll go do it again. Don't think that you need to sit and drink and say, well, I need 4 or 5 drinks before I can, because dude, I could just imagine how many times you have these women come up that are very intoxicated. And how annoying is it? Well, I'm sure she sees it the same way. So don't do that. That's you're going to lose from the get-go. Nothing wrong with maybe having a drink. One, generally you don't want to walk around without a drink if you're in a club, kind of thing. In that, because you don't want to stand out as awkward, so there's nothing wrong with getting a drink and just sipping on it for the entire night, carry it around with you. At least then nobody's going to sit and watch how much you drink, and if they do, then that's a little strange. You probably need to walk away anyway. But How do you get to that point, right? How do you build yourself up to get there? Because once you're there, you have to figure out the things that you can talk about to sound interesting. And most women aren't going to say much. I'll just say that. They're going to try to keep it unless you have something interesting to say and you kind of carry the conversation for a while. Then they give them something to respond to, and talk about. It's generally women, even if they, let's say you're exactly what they're looking for. Let's say they've been looking at you all night, hoping you come over, right? And you did. Generally, they're not going to say a whole lot because, for one, they don't know what to say and they don't want to sound stupid and have you walk away. So they're going to try to be until they can kind of gauge the way the conversation going, and different things they can kind of do to kind of say or whatever to have a normal sounding conversation. You gotta, as a man, when you walk up to do that, there's a lot of responsibilities. First you got to be the one to walk up, talk to a complete stranger that you have no idea if they even care that you exist, right? You not only have to walk up, start the conversation, you need to get off the interview, right away, and you need to start talking about things that generally they're going to be interested in. So that's why you kind of get to that. What are they interested in right away? You don't just jump there, but you know what I mean? That way you can come up with some things to talk about. And that's you'll have to carry the conversation. You're going to be the one to have to say that you like them, and think they're great and think they're funny or whatever it is at some point. And you're the one that's going to have to, ask them for their number or for their social media, or that you'd like to see them again, or maybe you can, whatever. Them are all your responsibilities, because women are never going to do that. And then they just absolve themselves of all that and then claim that, oh man, they're just horrible, because they don't do all that, but they do nothing. So that's neither here nor there. So just understand you're going to have to do all this, and you got to start getting comfortable with it. So back before all this, things that you can do that will build you up to a certain point. Maybe hang out with a couple of your friends beforehand, a couple of good friends, and maybe they're in the same situation and they want to do the same thing, right? They're out looking and they are working on trying to get better at approaching women. Now, it's great if you do, because if you guys can work together and then give yourself feedback, back and forth or whatever, it's it'll further you along. You'll gain quite a bit, really, not really fast, but you faster than you're trying to do it on your own. But you can still do it on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're not really wanting all your friends know that you ain't real great with women, which they probably know, but yeah, we get it. We don't want to voice it or whatever. But if you want to do it on your own, for one, you have to make yourself like yourself. You know what I mean? If you don't like yourself, it's going to be you can't make another person like you. You can't hide it, if that makes sense. If you think there's something wrong with you, that's going to come out. That's going to stand out. And because women are way more socially aware than we are. We think we're hiding it and they see right through it, right? So if you do feel that, let's let's touch on this for a second. For one, everybody thinks there's something wrong with them, you know, to different degrees, you know. Uh, but uh, some of us just learn not to care that uh, that there's something wrong with us, like we're messed up. But some well, I might not be. Some guy might think he's too short, to have women attract him. He's real self-conscious about it. The next guy that's got over it is, you can't change that. You're it's physically short, right? There might be a guy that's fairly decent with women that's short, but he's got over it because it is what it is. And I'm just gonna, nothing I can do about it. Just gonna move on. Who cares, right? And have that, I don't care. It's just the way it's going to be attitude. It doesn't make me anything wrong with me. It just makes that their preferences it makes it a little more difficult because they have preference. It doesn't mean anything wrong with you. Now, if you are, 5'6" and 350, okay, you have something you can do, right? Because you need to get rid of that and make yourself better. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying guys that are heavy or short or anything like that there's anything wrong with. I'm just saying you could better yourself, right? And wouldn't you want to present yourself? And yeah, I'm sure everybody would. You'd want to present yourself in your best capacity. Well, at that point, if you're short and fat, you're not at your best. So focus on losing some weight, right? I mean, you can't grow any taller, but you focus on losing the weight, building a little muscle, maybe acquiring, a better job, right? As you're doing this stuff. And then also don't worry about the height. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. The more you don't care about it, it's weird when it comes to women. The more you don't really care about something, they might mention, but the more it doesn't affect you, and you really don't care about it or really respond back in a negative way, the less they really give a shit about it. They just see that you're secure in who you are and like, oh, and it's just not a thing anymore. So, and usually guys are we're harder on ourselves than the women are. I mean, they might be harsher at the moment, but we're way harder on ourselves, right? So, for one, when you work on yourself, make yourself the best that you can be. Maybe, hey, go get a haircut, maybe a new hairstyle, whatever, and just try. There's nothing wrong with going in and, even asking the hairstylist, it's like, hey, what, can you see anything else I can do? Or I was thinking of changing something up, but I don't know what. They're well aware that we don't know what the hell we need. You know what I mean? Generally. And they are very good at knowing that stuff. They can just see certain things. If you don't want to take the chance on that, talk to some females that or whatever, and it just even ask them, because it might be, generally women like that kind of stuff. If you just say, hey, I'm thinking about, trying a new hairstyle or maybe trimming the beard different, or I don't know, what would you think, and then they'll have a million ideas for you, and maybe like say to look stuff up and show you and all this stuff. And that way you can be like, this is what I want. This is, go in and tell them, this is what I want. I don't know what it is, but there, and, get it that way. But, there's nothing wrong with changing things up a little bit. Maybe even the way you dress. Here I am looking like a bum, but hey, this is the way it is. Uh, if you go out and get some new clothes, or go look at new clothes. Maybe it's been a while. I mean, a lot of guys we don't go clothes shopping. Uh, unless we need something for work. And then we'll just like, well, we'll go get some work pants and a work shirt, and then we're done. Uh, but we get, and if you don't know what to get, uh, again, ask a woman that that's a friend or association, whatever, however, and she'll be able to dress you 99% of the time, and it'd be stuff that you wouldn't even want. You know what I mean? You'd never pick, but once you put it on, you're like, God damn, that ain't bad, because they just have this ability, I don't know, superpower or whatever it is, to be able to know all about this stuff, which is really actually attractive. I really, really do. I don't know why. I just think it's cool as shit that women can do this stuff. I don't know about you guys, but goddamn, how they can do that is just beyond me. Of course, they might think the same way that how we can build a house or tear a car apart and put it back together or whatever. I don't know, but I really think it's cool. So we got the physical part. We got you're taking care of yourself, and one of the main things is take care of your skin too. Don't don't let that go. And women really really pay attention to that stuff because they do it all the time. Uh, so do that. There's a bunch of different things you can get. You know, different products or whatnot. Not recommending anything. Just try a few things out and see what you can do. But it is a very very good thing. The more well taken care of you are, and the more put together you are, uh, they see it as soon as you walk up. Because don't you notice if a woman's well put together? Her hair is done, her makeup, her teeth, her skin looks great, her clothes match, her shoes match. We notice. We might not just sit there and go through, okay, does this, this, but we just see it as in a whole. And we're like, wow, she's put together well. That's why she was attractive to begin with, right? Uh, they do the same thing. So when you walk up, they're not like judging you on that stuff. They just give you the once over, and you're like, oh, well, he's put together, Poof. Okay, you're in step one, right? So if you can do that kind of stuff, okay, them are things you can do beforehand, before anything off on your own, right? To take care of them sort of things. Then, yeah, you go out with your friends, and maybe they're working together, helping you out. Build yourselves up a little bit, because each one of you are going to be nervous if you're not used to this, and there's nothing wrong with being nervous about it. Uh, it even to the point that you should be a little nervous about it. Because if you can just randomly go up to every woman and just start rattling off, I mean, it doesn't bother you, then you either don't really have any standards, or it doesn't matter to you in the first place, right? There's one thing to be able to talk to attractive women. There's another thing to be able to talk to anybody at any time, and you're looking for the same thing. Is some things are kind of label you as a creep or weirdo, so just be careful on that. But if you go out with your friends, and you can want to build yourself up a little bit, like even before you leave the house or whatever, when you're getting cleaned up, or you're getting ready, or you're taking a shower or whatever, turn your favorite song on, something kind of that high beat, that kind of gets you going. It'll pump you up a little bit, right? And then I know it sounds strange. I know it sounds horrible. It might sound like you're I don't know, narcissist or whatever, but it works. Uh, but it works over time if you honestly believe it and care. Is, when you're getting ready, look at yourself in the mirror and check yourself, not in a sick, weird way, but check yourself out and just say, damn, I look good. I look good. You know, I, damn, I look good, Uh, that'll build you. I mean, it sounds weird, but if you do it all the time, it will build you up and you'll get used to it. And if it's repetitive every time, it just gets, it's like a habit, right? And you get it in your brain and the way you go. Then you go out with your friends. You guys maybe go out and have a meal, maybe meet up to do something or whatever, and you kind of all talk and laugh and just enjoy yourself and just relax. Make yourself very, very at ease, you know. And then, yeah, then you can go out to the club, you walk in, you don't worry about anybody else there, you don't care what they're doing, you know. You you're focused on you and your boys, that you're gonna take care of the night. And then, yeah, just make sure you don't get drunk. I mean, I'd, if I felt if I was a woman and a drunk guy, I don't care who the fuck he is, you know. So understand that there's a limit that you got to do. You can't go. You gotta stay. You gotta stay at least coherent. Okay, and I would say actually you have to stay more. You have to stay sober. Other than maybe, I mean, you can tell the bartender to throw. Can I get a glass with some ice, uh, and water, and then can I get a lime or whatever put on it? And nobody knows. You know what I mean? That's probably the best way to go about it. Um, but then, uh, if things do go well, dude, you gotta stay coherent. Because now she's probably not okay. Can we we all know, we can agree on that. She's probably not gonna stay sober, so you have to be. Um, that way, if she gets too far, you can also stop things, and you check yourself out of the situation, right? Because we all know some bad things happen. Uh, Bad things happen when people are too intoxicated. Anyway, so you can build yourself up like that. You go out, you do your thing. At least approach 3 women that you find attractive. Don't go for the ones that you do not find attractive, right? Now, if you're just starting out and you are very, very self-conscious and you're not really, really, really built up for this yet, then, we got all the rating scales 1 through 10, ding, 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 right? Obviously, anything under like a 3, you're not going to be interested in all. There's obviously some that are very attractive, higher on the scale. But you're going to be extremely nervous because of that. So if you're just starting out, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these, I'll probably get some crap, but I'm not saying there's anything wrong with an average woman. Uh, in general, most are average, right? But yeah, somebody that you find cute, uh, it wasn't be, let's say, your first choice if you lined them up against the wall and you could pick anyone you wanted. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean they're not going to be a great person, and it doesn't mean that they might not be the one that you would have once you get to know them. So Uh, but yeah, generally, you guys, if you're starting out, pick somebody in mid or just below mid range that you would be interested in, not the ones that you're like, yeah, damn, no way, ugly. Okay, don't do that because they get attached, and that leads to a whole nother podcast of crap that I will end up getting into. But man, you don't want nothing to do with this, right? So you get somebody in mid range, and you can talk. At least you feel they're more on your level, right? Even though you're probably more than what you believe. A lot of us over the years, I've noticed, have we might be eights, nines, but we think we're like fours, right? Women, on the other hand, they might be like twos and they think they're tens, and we're like, yeah, damn, you're delusional. But, uh, but yeah, I kind of notice that guys rate themselves lower than what they actually are, and women just, I mean, there's if you ask all the women in the world, there's every one of them's like a 9 and a 10, and there's no women between 8 and 1, so it's absolutely it's funny as shit, but it's just annoying. Other things, like I say, then you guys, if you're working with someone, not working with them, but I mean, if you're out and have buddies that are doing this with you, like I say, try at least 3. If you get shot down, or all of you and your buddies get shot down every time, nothing wrong with that. Don't worry about it. You can still have fun tonight, right? You can still enjoy yourself. If it's not late, you guys can bounce to another place and and try again. Try, not 3, but at least 1 each. And then, seriously, not that night maybe, but get together and bullshit about what this gal did and what you said and whatever, and then he might laugh and say you shouldn't have said that, means this and that, you shouldn't have done that, but this worked and this didn't, and it's a back and forth thing, right? And it really does help if you have someone. If you don't, there's nothing wrong with doing your thing. Okay, you get shot down. Just don't take it personally. Don't think there's something wrong with you. Just then why? I mean, they who cares? I mean, you don't want everybody. So and you don't want them to take it personally. So there's nothing wrong with being rejected. Actually, being rejected as a guy to start off with is actually a good thing, because it gives you a little thicker skin and makes you have to better yourself in certain ways and adapt to being able to carry a conversation longer. And you'll notice this if you're just starting, or you only been doing it and you're kind of like, nobody, I don't want to do it anymore because nobody's receptive. Well, try different things and you'll start noticing, okay, this worked up until, 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden it went to hell because of this. Well, then just don't do this. And then figure out what to put into that place, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, it went good for 6 minutes, and then this happened, and that. Then you'll work your way through, and then all of a sudden it's not a big issue for you. Everything will start coming together a lot easier. Then just don't get down on yourself about it. I'm telling you guys right now, if you take 100 times of approaching a woman, most guys, and I mean, the guys that I'm talking about that don't fit this most are like probably elite. Most guys are going to be shot down 80% of the time. So out of 100 times, 80 women are going to reject you. Probably only 10, the next 10 are probably not reject you, but they will just be polite and have a conversation with you. And some of the women that do reject you will actually be polite and actually be happy that you actually came over to have a conversation. If you can hold a conversation, the last thing you want to do is walk over and say hi, and then be well you're hot. Okay, yeah. I mean, she hears that all the time. So why in the hell she want to talk? You don't, that does her no good. And she'll smile and be polite. But if you can actually hold a conversation, it does help quite a bit. Even if it's like 5 minutes or so, and you don't want to be there all night long talking. I mean, come on. It's just going to annoy her. You have to walk away at some point, right? Even if she is receptive to all what's going on, leave on a high note, right? Leave on a high note, say, I got to go hang with my friends, I just come over here to say this or blah, blah, but I'd really like to get your number and talk to you maybe, or get your social media and we can talk or whatever. I really think you're great or whatever. And then, leave on a high note instead of talking until it goes up, and then all of a sudden it starts going down and you guys run out of thing to say and then say, oh, well, can I have your number because I got to go? Well, no, because you missed that point, right? So understand that you got to leave on a high note to some degree. Otherwise it's they're gonna, if you leave on a high note, they're gonna be way more receptive to answer you when you message them, right? So that's going to be the general deal of if you're working with somebody or not trying to do this. Now, women do say, well, let's say you are in a relationship, right? This is the difference between insecurities that women say men have and actual insecurities. They're two different things. Men might be a little nervous about going to approach women, which most women want to be approached, they say. But then every time we approach, we get some of the nasties that yell and complain and give us the stink eye. So if they want to be approached, then, but there's no other way about this, right? I mean, they got to change the way they are, but there's no other way about this. And you're going to make a huge impression on them if you can go in and approach them in person and hold a conversation and split, with their social media or some way to contact them. You're going to make a huge impression doing that than the 40 or 50 guys that last tried to do it when through social media. You know what I mean? Because you're real life. Because anybody can be anything on social media, and women know that. And generally, they're not what they say. But if you're in real life, so it holds a lot more weight with them. They would rather talk to you than these other guys that didn't put any effort and didn't show any confidence and drive. And then okay, so you get your social or your insecurities. Social you got your dude, sorry, I just bust me up. All right, but you got women say that men that tell them, hey, you're in a relationship with them, and you tell them, hey, no, I don't want you out shaking it at the club with your girlfriends. I mean, this, because you know what she did when you met her, right? And you know what guys do when they see this. So understand that when you guys are supposed to be exclusive in a relationship and they do this, well, you're just insecure. No, the hell I am. I am very secure, and I am trying to hold my relationship to a to be a long term. I am putting standards in place that is going to let me have a long term relationship, uh, not toxic, right? They see it as insecure that you won't quote let them go sexualize themselves, but you as a man know that it's not going to the relationship is not going to last if they continue doing this, not because you're going to get upset or any of that, but they're just going to constantly go after that male attention, and they're going to constantly have guys hitting on them and constantly doing all this and leaving themselves like on the free market. Then what the hell's the point of being in a relationship, right? If they want to act single, be single. And that's usually how women act that way a lot. I don't care if they're gonna bitch or not about it here, because they do, and they all do. Just like women talking to their ex, if you're out. Oh my, I've seen that so many times, and I've even made a few comments, because they'll go over and talk to their ex for like, they'll just walk off and maybe tell their guy, oh, it's so and so, and go over and talk to, or like an hour, and then think that's okay. And then I've made a few comments to some people that did that, and the response is, oh well, no, he's okay with it. The fuck he is. He just doesn't have enough balls to fucking tell you no. I'm just, you know what I mean? Because he is not okay with this. He might be okay with you going over and say hi when he's right with you, but he's not okay with you going over and bullshitting with this guy and laughing and joking and hugging and drinking and all this shit. He is not okay with any of it. And there's no like, oh, my guy's different. Bullshit. If he's that, you wouldn't be attracted to him in the first place unless you are the one running the relationship. And if that's the case, then dude, you're on your own, because it ain't gonna last anyway. But I made a few comments to a few people, and I mean, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but I'm really shy and reserved, so I don't really say a whole lot. Yeah, I was kind of blunt and upfront, and yeah, it didn't really get received that well. And then all of a sudden I was the asshole, but whatever. Uh, I am. I mean, but I'm good at it. Years and years of practice. Uh, but yeah, that's not insecure. They say that if you don't want them doing certain things or dressing a certain way, I'm not saying that a woman can't dress however she wants, but I'm just saying that a woman is going to hold herself to a certain standard and try to be somewhat modest, more modest than what she was when she was single, if she's with me. I mean, if she don't want, she can do whatever she wants. Don't bother me. But it's, you got to have some standard. You got to have a line that you draw. Because if you don't have any confidence in yourself to draw lines, if you don't have any backbone to draw some lines, and have boundaries, then they're going to walk all over you. You're going to be the dude that is in the phone as, free food. And you know what I'm saying? Just don't let them walk on you. I'm not saying be a complete, like, you're going to wear this and you're not going to do that, and you're going to just like demand and demand and demand, because your average guy isn't going to be able to have that status or that clout to be able to do that. But you can say a few things and be very, I don't know, be uninterested, I guess you could say, if they choose to do it anyway. And if they do it once or twice, 3 times, it's time to go. You know what I mean? Because they don't respect who you are in the first place. Um, uh, Hopefully some of this helped. Some of it. I don't know. And like I always say, guys, what I say, it doesn't mean it fits everyone. Take what you can get and can apply in your life in a positive way. To better yourself. It doesn't mean you have to follow everything. It's just like if you want to cherry pick a few things and apply it and see what happens, uh, it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. I've got, there's plenty other. I could go on this insecurities for, oh God, you know, freaking, I go on 10, 12 hours about it. There's so much about it that, and ways to overcome it. Just like how to build confidence and things like that. And I'll have to do one of those. I haven't done one of those for a long time. So I will, maybe that will be the next one, starting about how to build confidence and what confidence means to women. Yeah, that might be pretty good. But yeah, you don't have to follow everything. You don't have to agree with everything. You just take what you can and be better. I mean, that's the main point, is to advance yourself, to be a better dude. Because the better you are, the more you accomplish, the more you take care of yourself. I know it doesn't seem that way, but women are going to notice, and then all of a sudden, things get easier. Not a lot easier. I'm not saying that just snap a finger and it all changes, but it does get easier. And then you get more sure of yourself anyway, so it really doesn't matter if it's hard or easy. Just because you know what you need. Because you'll notice before long that women have standards. And their standards are all over the place, and most of the time are ridiculous. But the men that have standards and boundaries and stick to them are 1,000 times happier, because they don't need anybody. They're not going to put up with any of this crap. If you want to be a clown, bounce. I can be single for 2, 3, 6 months. Ain't gonna bother me. I'm happy with myself and my friends. I don't. They don't really bring a whole lot anyway. To a certain point. Not dogging on women. I'm just stating an actual fact. I mean, they're not gonna bring anything that you really need, other than the one thing that they don't want to be seen as. Well, it's all they offer, other than somebody to talk to. Well, I got friends to talk to, and what the fuck. Anyway, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. You guys stay in it. God damn it! And I know you're 90% of you are gone by now anyway, because I said I'm out of here. You guys dipped, but yeah, like, subscribe, share that shit out in your social media if you're still here. We'll get it out to as many people as we can. We'll try to build this thing up. And we will do more. If you need something, say something. Comment. It doesn't matter. Even if it's you want me to you put a comment down, you need me to text you or something because you don't want to say it on the comment or whatever, but just get a hold of me and we'll get the stuff out to you, and we'll figure out the specific issue you're having. And if you want to be on, reach out. I got a bunch of people that are lined up. We're just trying to figure out days at work and things like that, but reach out. We'll get you on. It'll all be good. You guys do everything you can. Stay safe. Come on, dude. Try. All right. I'm out of here. You guys have a good day.